right? If you never step up to the plate, you're never going to get, like in higher level Rocket League, it's very, very infrequent that this ball is just gonna, hit a crazy angle off the wall or something like that, and then happen to end up in your opponent's goal, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. The defense it's assumed to be good enough that the offense has to force a mistake out of the defense, is how it works once you get to a high enough level. And if you're just giving over those mistakes for free, then you're making the game harder for yourself, really, as Cat's off the ceiling there is actually going to get cut off by Delaney, who is going to try and give space here to SJT, pass up, and I gotta say, that demo's good. Delaney managed to clear it out, but I love how USC is constantly looking for these upfield passes.
Upfield passes, combo that. I mean, given that you're forcing... Ooh. Oh, fantastic! The double tap here, and I'm not talking against the ball. This is a little bit of physical play, and this right here is exactly what I mean when I say you don't have to come in 100 miles an hour double demoing both, right? Like, just a tiny, tiny little tap like that, especially in twos, is gonna be enough to pave your way to the bank. 1-0 advantage early for the USC Gamecocks.
Yeah, SJT managing to grab the boost here off kickoff, too. He's going to take it to the side wall, try and find the 50, and Katz is right there, looks for the shot, and again, that's the aggression that I was talking about, where as soon as there's an opening, the shot's coming on net, and once again, it's USC just keeping this ball in the blue half. Yags, chance for a 50, but is not going to be able to get it past the defender. Oh, the demo, though!
Nice. There you go. So sometimes you do need a little bit of a demo action to go forth and take down a goal. 1-1 tie ball game here after Cats just gets absolutely dusted in front of their net. I don't think they would have been able to get back to the ball regardless, so maybe not a necessary demo, but regardless, a goal, and that's really what matters to this Franklin EXO clan.
Yeah, and you're setting a precedent there that you're not afraid to get physical, and you're showing that, hey, if you take too much time with the delay, what? Oh my!
Now it's going to be Delaley's turn for a you didn't have to do him like that. Crazy stuff. Have to check for 4 broken axles out there after both players on the USC Gamecocks bit on that one and bit on it hard. It's been, what, 20 seconds ago? This is a 1-0 game.
Yeah, I mean, I love to see the mechanics coming out here from both the players. I think there was even a double reset, potentially, as Delaney looking for the double tap. Not quite able to get it, and Katz now, unfortunately, does give up the ball over to Yags, who grabs his full boost, takes his time, and good control now off the sidewall, puts it above the defender, and Franklin now slowing it down, taking their time, and these aerial plays are working out.
Working out in spades. Yags, teammate Delaney, doing some fantastic stuff through the air to put some goals in net.
As here we go, 3-1 now, as Franklin making a massive comeback from game 1, where obviously that 4-1 defeat is not ideal for starting off this match, but it really does feel like right now, whoever is able to keep the pressure up, get the boost started, is having the most successes. Cat's delayed air dribble, tries to draw out the defender, but Yags does a great job of waiting. And that means that Franklin has control once again.
Nicely done, nicely done. Bend but not break defense here after they give over a couple opportunities and just play rebounds afterwards. Double tap against the wall, not able to pick this one up. This is dangerous territories, and there's a 4-1 scoreline.
Yeah, even with the full boost there, Cats, I think, getting a little bit greedy, got the boost and then tried to turn back. Yags, a beautiful recovery out of the net to just put pace on that, keep his speed up, and a complete reversal, and in half the time that it took for USC to get the 4-1 scoreline. Obviously not what you'd like for USC, but that's a kickoff goal.
Huh. Okay, those will happen in 2s more frequently than 3s, I suppose. This is still not really a mistake you can afford to make here. I think that was Yags. Like, logic follows that you want to get second tap right here, but given that it's 2s and there's nobody else back, I'm leaning towards just sitting back and playing goal, right?
Yeah, I mean, you have both players cheating up, obviously, in case that kickoff does go completely stalemate and you want a chance to... Oh, SJT, Yags! Able to get in the way of it, but very dangerous attempt. But off that kickoff, you want to... If it goes completely even stalemate, and you have a player cheating, you are at the advantage because you're able to put a shot on that. You're able to kind of take advantage of that. But in the case there, where you get a bad 50 or you dodge the wrong way like Yags did, then that's suddenly disastrous because you don't have a player back.
Definitely happens. Definitely happens. And just the split-second mistake, right? Quarter-second difference, and these players will take advantage of it. Oh, Cats. Some more fancy footwork and an even closer game as we inched away from a 4-1 to a 3-4 now. Kickoff goal and then a little bit more of a, the Gamecocks just took a little bit more time to paint the picture on this one. It finally lands, and now a one-score game. We can hit triple zeros and still not technically anybody's done so.
Yeah, it was a beautiful catch there from Cats. Second time now that they've been able to just take their time with that dribble, wait out the touches. Delaney now looking for just some nice 50s back and forth. Yags with the fake. Cats is going to still get back to it, though. Just took a little bit too long to close in on that.
Great stop from Delaney. Yags gets an even better one. This should be, that's a weak hit right there. That will be able to be recovered. So ball still being fought over. That's decently on point. A great job getting under this one. Yags now with a savior goal. Playing this one perfectly to a T. Offense, defense, Yags is doing everything right now, man.
Double commit. Oh, not going to be able to get it out as Cats just stays in the air and says, yeah, you're both up. I guess I can just dunk you.
See, that's the mistake again. Yags actually hits Delaney kind of farther away from the clear side of this net right here, right? That yields a situation where they get another tap on here. I believe that was SJT gets another tap on there, which is already a crazy thing. So beating out two players, maybe that's where our difference is really coming in here, Titan on Fire. Just the performance against two players versus just one while your teammate is rotating.
Yeah, it's really like the important part about 2v2 is how well can you get these challenges off when you know your teammate's getting back, when you still need to buy some time. And I think USC has been doing a great job of stopping these plays before they even get started. Obviously, when Franklin is given time, then we've seen the flip resets come out, the air dribbles. But if you're able to cut them off, that's a completely different story. As Yag's gonna roll that one through. Great challenge from Delaney. And that's a 1-goal lead with 11 seconds left.
1-goal lead, 11 seconds. Doable, not going to be easy here for the team that is down. Now, this is looking a little bit more indicative of our second game between these two teams earlier, right? That was a 6-4 game, and, well, we're just one score away from that one.
Yeah, it's nice and close here as USC going to try and get one more chance, but Delaney looking for the flip reset, finds the dunk, and now Cats going to take some time. Gets pushed away, looking for the dribble, keeps a hold of it, pushes it high, and there's the kill from Yags. And that's going to be just a 1-goal win, but it's still a win for Franklin to tie up this best of 7.
A win for Franklin, 5-4. So the USC Gamecocks put up 8 total goals, 4 in the first, 4 in the second, but completely different situations after they dropped the first game 4-1, and then this one just turns into an absolute slobber knocker, just back and forth like a boxing match right here. Haymakers come left, right, and center. That's a hat trick for Yags. That's a hat trick for Cats. That's 10 total shots, Franklin. That's 11 total shots here for the University of South Carolina. Now, the big difference here for me comes in the saves, right? Yags, as we mentioned, got that savior goal. That's 3. Got a fourth there after that one as well. SJT has 3. Cats has 0. Need a little bit more of a well-rounded squad, a little bit more of a well-rounded duo out of the University of South Carolina Gamecocks if we're going to see them come forth and really ploy their advantage in these further games. Because we basically just had a best of 7 boiled down to a best of 5 now, right?
Yeah, it's kind of an even footing now, and that means that it's going to be we're going to see how these players approach this now that you've had this close game. And with it being so close, it is now time for us to go to a quick break because we do have some advertisements that we're going to play for the wonderful sponsors of this event. Why don't you tell us about them, Tugboat?
Yeah, absolutely. Once again, this is Amazon Luna and XP League Franklin. Very much appreciate them helping to make competitions like this one possible. Let's hop on into it, and we'll be back with you guys in a second.
XP League is a youth esports organization that combines the thrill of competitive gaming with the values of teamwork, leadership, and personal growth. Designed for kids 7 to 17, XP League bridges the gap between gaming and life skills by offering a structured environment where players can develop their talents under the guidance of certified coaches. Our league focuses on popular games like Fortnite, Rocket League, Overwatch, Valorant, and Apex Legends. emphasizing strategy, communication, and sportsmanship. Beyond the games, XP League Franklin, primarily based in Tennessee, fosters a strong sense of community by involving families and creating opportunities for young gamers to connect, grow, and succeed both in and out of the digital arena. Our strong coaching staff has allowed us connections to colleges all across the U.S., where alumni of our program have gone on to compete on scholarships, and recently we became a partner to ExoClan, an EU-based professional esports organization, which is allowing us dedicated time with pro-level coaches, players, and managers. Whether your child is new to esports or looking to take their skills to the next level, XP League Franklin is the place to play, learn, and thrive.
Hello and welcome back here. 2024 Winter Games Finals here for the CEA is returning. We're looking at Game 3 coming in just a second. I'm FBI Tugboat here with me, Titan on fire. Now, Titan, we saw just a way more definitive win in Game number 1 for the USC Gamecocks. A little bit of a different story in Game number 2, didn't we?
Yeah, game number 2 ended up being 5-4. An extremely close game there with just one goal in the last 10 seconds, really deciding it. And we've seen both these teams kind of have to adjust a little bit. For USC, you come out of the gate swinging. You get that 4-1 victory. And then for Franklin, they had to slowly adjust. They say, all right, we need to figure out what plays we're going to be doing to make sure that we are stopping USC from having the time to take these shots. We need to challenge quicker. We need to shore up our defense. And now it's on USC. All right, you had that close game. You still managed to put through 4 goals. But how do you make sure that you're not conceding goals on the other end?
This is just a situation of controlling the ball as well. Like that is how the USC Gamecocks went forth and put up four goals right here, just denying offensive opportunity to the Franklin EXO clan. Now, I'll say that's a lot easier said than done. There's a lot of different methods of them, kind of going forth and doing that. Let's go ahead, excuse me. It's early already. And go ahead and hop into this game number 3 of this best of 7 series. Once again, Gamecocks took down game number 1, Franklin EXO took down game number 2. And so we're looking at a best of 5 basically at this point, right? Back to a clean slate.
Yep, now first to 3 wins. And it means that it's a nice situation for Franklin because you get that win. And now this series has been reset. Now you're coming at it kind of fresh. You can approach it from that angle as Delaney with a beautiful air dribble into the 50-50, finds the back of the net.
Yag's doing a great job of going after the defender right here. And SJT, this is not so they didn't angle their car right to have this be more of a wall instead of a redirect inside their own goal. If that was their teammate, that would have been the flashiest goal that we've seen on broadcast today. As it is, just kind of a defensive mistake, right?
Yeah, you need to get a little further over there when you're jumping off the side wall, obviously, and that 50 going into the net just means that you weren't really approaching it from the right angle, as you said. That means that Franklin here is going to be starting out with this early lead in game number 3. Yags now looking for the cut, and Franklin really, I think, stepping up the pace of play from game 1 has also really been the big difference. They're being a lot more aggressive with these challenges, and they're kind of answering USC where they're saying, all right, you're going to be aggressive with how you're putting shots in the net. We can do the same thing. We're going to just go for these aerial plays. We know we're confident about our control, and we're just going to believe that you can't defend us.
Yeah, I mean, 5 total scores in game 1, 9 total scores in game number 2. I gotta agree with you there, Titan. As it is, this EXO clan Franklin has just been fighting to try and get this out of the corner. They finally do. It seemed like the ball lived there for about 15-20 seconds or so. Nice 50 win from SJT. Cass tries to get on top of this one and is blocked away.
Shot on net from SJT. And that's the first shot actually here for USC. They've been a lot better. You kind of pointed out the stats at the end of game 2. Usually their shot generation has not been an issue. It's really just been converting those shots. But in this game, they've been kept down. 4 shots for Franklin EXO. As Cats tries to find the pinch. Yags is going to pick it up though and take it through the air. But 4 shots for Franklin, only 1 for USC. Now this one onto the backboard. There's no defender there, and that just means that Yags gets a free goal.
How did this happen? We're going to have to watch this one. So Cats go... Oh, the double commit. It'll do you in. It'll do you in every time. And that was a really, really crazy pinch from Cats on the other side, but this ends up doing nothing but just giving possession over to Franklin EXO clan. And now we're staring down the barrel of a scoreline that we saw at the end of game number 1 in the first match between these two teams.
Yep, as JT looking for the shot, not going to find it, and Delaney has boost, and I think you are, yeah, as you said, we really are starting to see, I think, what happened in that game, even that game 3 of the first round robin between these two teams, where as soon as USC is getting behind here, they're throwing the kitchen sink at the goal. Both players are challenging. They're just trying to get a goal, and now you're starting to see some mistakes in the rotation. And for Franklin, well, they still have a guy with boost because they only have one person challenging like they should, and that means that it's a free transition goal for them.
Yeah, I mean, both players in offensive positions and both burning every bit of boost that they have to try and make a play onto this ball. The math is mathin' right there. 6 total shots for Franklin EXO, divided perfectly. 3 for Delaney, 3 for Gags, only 3 for SJT and Cats put together.
Yeah. No, the speed, the pace, the aggression, it's all been here for Franklin. In this game number 3, I think really starting to find their comfort, and Delaney finds a challenge, looks to get that off the back wall, but is just going to force Cats to take into the air, and now Cats with no boost. What?
The toughest angle that we've seen so far for sure. Cats just doing everything they can, but once again, I mean, the last 3 goals here for the Franklin EXO clan, if you just turn back the dial about 2 seconds, you're going to see 2 Gamecocks literally like high-fiving through their windows, right? Right next to each other, not covering the span at all. At least it's not going to be a shutout here of the USC Gamecocks as Cats gets another one off a kickoff.
Yeah, and that was kind of the saving grace, almost the saving grace in game 2 for USC, was they did start it with a goal off the kickoff, and then they found 2 more to bring it closer. But they got a lot of ground to make up here, still 3 goals behind, and it's also, you're looking at the quality of goals here is a big difference, where Franklin has been constantly just like forcing mistakes out of their opponents. USC has been double committing, and Franklin, they'll do an air dribble, draw to defender. Whereas for USC, the opportunities that they're getting are really just a shot on net, and the kickoff goal there is that rule 1, unfortunately, is going to get broken. So no 1v1s for us.
No 1v1s. We love to see it. We love to see it, but yes, they get bumped away. That's going to be it. An honest opportunity right there from Cats, and now fancy aerial footwork there, and SJT gets nothing on the backside, taking it off a top wall as well. The big difference here for EXO clan, Franklin EXO, excuse me, is that they're just doing so much better on defense. They're coming forth and actually taking possession away. Now that by all rights should have been a goal right here. 5-1 is, I mean, only a little bit more impressive than 4-1 until you look at the time, at the clock, right? Only a minute left, 3 goals. That is very, very hard to do. A Herculean effort indeed.
Yeah, and Franklin's doing a great job, as you said. They're controlling the ball. They're taking their time. And they're really playing to their strengths for these challenges. They're making sure that they're finding a touch. That's a great bump, though. It's good to see some signs of life here from USC, as SJT just kind of chases down Yags and says, "Yeah, you're not getting that challenge." but for Franklin EXO playing, yeah, it has been just really good control and playing, I think, to their pace.
Absolutely. Like, it's just an absolute control over the pace of play. It's one of those, like, you can't chalk it up to numbers, right? It's more of just like a feel and what this team has gone forth and used while they have displayed their confidence over possession of this ball. Now, you kind of see like a complete different gameplay, just a completely different look from Franklin in the last 30 seconds. They are now playing against the clock. They are not necessarily playing against the University of South Carolina.
Yeah, it's a challenge to see, can you score another one before the game gets over? And looks like the answer for now might be no, as Cats pushes this one into the corner. And USC gonna look for one more chance. Yags kicks it away. Delaney doesn't need to even find the save, as that's gonna drop Franklin EXO. Now 2-1 up in this best of 7. Halfway there. 2 more wins and they're gonna make it. And they're gonna be able to send obviously $300 over to the charity of their choice. But it's just looks, I mean, compare the game 1 to this, and this has been a complete change in pace and just control of the game.
It really has. Whatever the Franklin EXO clan figured out in the first match between these two teams in the very first round of our Swiss rounds there against the USC Gamecocks, they've gone forth and displayed it right here. It's possession, it's control. If we took a look at the numbers right there, you see they have more shots attempted, they have more saves. They're just touching the ball more often, and they're making impactful plays on the ball when they do. Let's get this one kicked off. Game 4 starting right now. Now the USC Gamecocks, they dropped this one. We'll be looking at match point pretty quickly.
Yep, they gotta change it up here. I think you gotta look at what you're doing in game 1. You gotta look at, hey, we were playing our pace, we were challenging, consistently, and we were trusting each other to make these challenges, especially. These double commits have really been hurting the USC Gamecocks, and I think that's been a large reason why their defense has been struggling, as SJT almost puts enough pace on that to get the goal. But I think you really got to say, all right, we can't be sucked into the pace of play that Franklin EXO is trying to push us to. You really got to just play your own style.
Gotta agree. Between comfortability and your game plan, how you played previous competitions, and your cohesion with your teammate, I gotta agree. Whoever's gonna go forth and play their game of Rocket League, right? Again, possessing complete control of this game. Is that inside? Ooh. It is. I don't think this actually would have gone all the way in without the ladder movement. See, we're looking at this. That's bouncing out. That's bouncing out. That's a technical own goal.
Yeah, not what you want to see there. Delele has been extremely consistent usually on the defensive end, but there in the rush back, not sure if that's going to hit the cross or the post. Ends up helping it in, and this is kind of what we saw in game 1 from USC. This is actually how they were scoring a lot, was just kind of finding these small openings in the rotation and just taking a shot on net, just putting it on target and forcing an awkward save, or in that case, a bad save that ends up putting it into their own net. And that's a lot of what they were doing, and I think we need to see more of that. Just taking those small opportunities, making sure your rotation is solid, and then when you get that good 50-50, just put it on net.
Absolutely. Nothing against Delele as well. Like, given this angle of this one, you have to play it. Like, I mean, you have to go forth and make a play on this ball. Nobody's just sitting back, front row seats to getting scored on, right? Some fancy defense right there. Cat's able to get this one from the side. Delele tries for a top left corner slot, doesn't quite get it. Now a weak hit kind of gives it over to SJT. Cats with a really fortunate spawn, honestly. Now this is Delele possession. What will they do? That they're acting pretty crazy off the top. There's a nice hit, and this is going to get cleared at least decently off. SJT goes for boost and not ball. Now comes to the side. Some fantastic stuff.
Yeah, SJT now brings it over to the backboard. Not quite able to find the bump. I think wanted to do a lot more with that, considering how much time they were given off the side. While bump is just going to force him out of net, and that's going to be Delele flicking that into the top corner.
Yeah. The physical play reigns the day again. Yags goes after SJT. I'm not even sure if they made contact. Don't even need to, because the effect, Titan on fire, was the same. Tie ball game, 2:32 left. This is what feels like the most even-handed Rocket League game between these two teams we've seen so far.
Yeah, I think we've seen both teams give good attempts on net and been playing very solid defense, where they're not stepping on each other's toes, they're not getting in each other's way, and they're really thinking about, like, okay, what are we going to do here? How are we going to make this play work out? It's just, SJT there looking for the double tap, not going to be able to find it. Now actually taps it up for Cats, who tries to find the 50. Wow. But a great save from Delele off the crossbar.
Fantastic stuff. That's the teamwork, like, just humming in cohesion. Absolutely love it. The mistakes earlier, double commits, and being out of position from both of these squads seems like a thing of the past. A tactical whiff, we'll call it here for the USC Gamecocks, as nobody is able to really maintain possession afterwards. Delele off the side. This will be a solid bump, but that is
double.
Off. That is not. Fantastic second hit. The second effort there from SJT.
Yeah, beautifully done, Cats, sticking with that. Now, SJT, did he get a... No way, he got a flip reset off that? What? I saw that shot, and I was like, that's a very fast shot for the angle. That's insane from SJT, and yeah, you're really seeing the Gamecocks here, I think. Now that they're rotating, now that they've got their wits about them, they say, okay, we're going to calm down. We weren't expecting Franklin to come out that strong, but now that we are ready for it... Oh, Yags, what?
I don't even know how this gets in here. 100 kilometers an hour, blink and you will miss it. Yags off the top, and SJ. Oh man, I think Cass actually kind of cut off SJT's path to this. Like, so obviously that was like an own goal, right? An angle from the friendly car that goes forth and goes into their goal, but there's this kind of like, again, due to some minor mistake, whenever these minor mistakes come out, this higher level Rocket League is going to go forth and get just absolutely demolished. Put points on the board. SJT tries to go up for this one, and defense holds strong.
Yeah, I mean, what are these touches as Delaney? I mean, this is now 2 goals in a row here for Franklin EXO, and Delaney, this is just reads it off the sidewall, and that just a lovely little roll off the corner of his car is going to put it in. But even that earlier one from Yags, the flip reset, wave dash recovery into the like reverse 90-degree flick, is just Franklin, I think, is really showing if you give them that time and space, then they can do some crazy things. And it's showing, hey, for the USC Gamecocks, you need to be challenging a lot quicker, because if you're going to give them time, Franklin's just going to put you in the dirt. As here we go, Delaney chasing down Katz. Katz just has to try and stay ahead, looks for the squishy save, and he's actually going to be able to force the Yags high.
Nicely done. Nicely done. Katz rotating, finds it back to the middle. A shot over here, but I mean, tell me if you feel like you've seen this one before. 2 Franklin EXO players playing all the way back, all the boost in the world to be spoken of, and just a little bit of time on clock while they have an advantage. Another one to go here, put in the doggy bag and take a 2-goal advantage into the last 20 seconds or so would be fantastic, but again, they don't really need this.
Yeah, they're just trying to waste time right now for Franklin EXO. Massive clears downfield, just making it awkward. SJT puts this one off the backboard, but it's right there for Delaney. Katz gets it out, but Yags is here, and again, takes his time off the backboard. SJT now one last chance, but Katz has no boost to follow it up, and it's a 1-goal lead once again for Franklin. They're going to go up 3-1, but as you're saying, that was a much closer game.
Much closer game. Much closer game by the scoreboard. Take a look at the numbers here and what they mean. What I'd like to see is that one of SJT's goals is assisted, of course, here from Katz, but what I'm actually looking at, 10 shots to 7, 6 saves. USC put in situations where they have to save so much more often. And, of course, what this means, 10 total shots, 6 saves, 3 goals in. There's only one that kind of got credited for going near a goal. Pretty much outside of that, they were 2 for 1 efficiency-wise, and that is exactly what the doctor is going to order if they want a W at the end of this one. $360 on the line here. 300 to first, 60 to second. This will, of course, be to the charity of their choice. Tilt Cancer being the charity of choice of Franklin EXO Clan, and Extra Life coming in here being represented by the University of South Carolina.
Yeah, one more win here for Franklin. $300 will be going over there. And I think they're feeling great about it. As you said, the conversion rate for them is what's really the big difference here. Their efficiency. When you're shooting 8 shots on target and you've only missed 1, you're forcing those saves out and you're scoring all of any shot that they don't save. Whereas USC, I think the other side of that was they had around 7 shots and only 2 were saved, and you have 1 or 2 goals from that. Like, that is not very good consistency. And that was, in game 1, that was kind of the opposite, where they were shooting shots and they were scoring almost all of them. But now it seems like they're just throwing shots on net to do it. And while that is a decent strategy, that only works if you constantly have ball control and you're controlling the pace of the game, which is not the case.
No, but towards the beginning of this best of 7 series, maybe, or definitely, even I'll say, especially 4-1 advantage to start off this series. That just is not the case anymore. Whatever has been figured out from the Franklin EXO Clan has been done. We're on match point technically right now. Franklin, they can seal up this series in about 4.5 minutes with even a 1-score differential. Katz twisting, turning, flipping through the air right here. Some aerial acrobatics on display. Yags showing us what they can do. Second tap comes in, and that's going to be a bicycle hit technically, but defense holds strong.
Absolutely. Is this one back downfield? No goals in the first minute here. Has actually been a little bit more calm and calculated by these players, and obviously when you have a team on match point, neither team wants to really give up anything that they don't have to. For the side of USC, obviously, it's Yags on the defensive end has been a miracle worker.
Crazy.
But for
Not
USC,
sorry, go ahead. I was going to make the joke. Not necessarily the same miracle workers that our sponsors represent, but on the virtual Rocket League pitch, 100%. Just simply pulling straw from a hat and making gold spun from straw. Fantastic stuff right here. SJT, I don't even think they really knew exactly what they were like trying to do when they came up to this one, but it paid out. Advantage here, USC Gamecocks.
Yeah, the goal is there, just make it awkward for the defense, and it did absolutely that. Cats, obviously sitting back, was able to read that a lot quicker as SJT off the kickoff, and again, it's the kickoff here for Franklin that has been showing a bit of weakness in almost every game that they've played.
Hey, they'll take it any way that they can get it. A random errant touch that lands right here and gives them advantage. Hey, we'll take it. 90 seconds to go, 2-score advantage. This is not a situation the University of South Carolina has found themselves in what seems like a fortnight.
Yeah, it was now Cass off the sidewall, wasn't able to quite get the air dribble, and so opts for these 50s, but now has left SJT alone. Luckily, SJT gets that good clear there into the corner, and now looks for the shot on net. Yags can't get there, and it looked like it was gonna be bad there actually, but USC turns it around.
Yeah, dude. SJT, 2 shots, 2 goals, an assist, and a save. That's what I'm talking about, a well-rounded team. On the other side, we have 2 minutes in, and neither player in Franklin EXO has triple-digit score yet. Only 1 shot attempted thus far. Everything that we've seen so far is being denied as of right now, as the Gamecocks figured it out in the most important part of these competitions, which is, of course, the break in between.
Yeah, I think for Franklin here, maybe even just being a little bit too lenient here with how they're playing. Obviously, you want to be safe. You're up on match point. You don't want to make too many mistakes. But if you end up not really generating anything offense-wise because of that, then it's not really a worthy trade-off. And so obviously, you still need to be getting up there. You still need to be taking these chances. You can't just play it completely safe. As Yags now going to kick this one downfield, as that's another double commit for USC, and both teams, I think, showing their trademark weaknesses here.
That's fair. Yeah, that's an entirely fair evaluation of both of these teams. Like, the mistakes are pretty clear, and the problem with that is that now that they're playing the 5th game against each other, there's not really many more surprises here. They know basically what each other are made of, and of course, as we mentioned, they have played each other in the first round of the Swiss format, right? So 3-score advantage boiled down to a 2-score advantage. Still an advantage here, and my goodness, Cats takes this back with a shout.
That is an absolutely gorgeous shot from Cats, as finds the angle, recognizes that the defender there is not in a good spot to block it, and once again we're at a 4-1 lead. It feels like 4-1 is a pretty popular scoreline for these teams here.
I mean, what, the lowest scores total between these two teams, 5? Higher level Rocket League, you know, you get 2, you get 3, you get 2, and you get 3 like all the time. 1-0s are personally my favorite Rocket League games, right? Like they show opportunity while only having 1 true moment of salvation or whatever else, right? It's dramatic, and that's why I like it. But 5 total scores, crazy stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it is a bloodbath out here, and it's taking turns. Both these teams are saying, all right, you got a few swings in, now it's my turn. I'm just going to take a few whacks at you. And there's not really much you're going to be able to do about it. As Franklin EXO here, they have managed to get a few shots on net. They're up to 5, but they're having the same issue now where when you're down this far, really you're just throwing shots on net in the hopes that the opponent makes a mistake. They've gotten 4 saves, but it's still USC in complete control of the pace of this game.
Yeah, and it's a 9-5. We're talking about 9 total shots attempted here, 5 for Franklin EXO, and 4 of them coming from Delaney. Gags is definitely very capable of getting a lot going offensively. That's just exciting. Will go forth and get their duo advantage, but just not really happening in this game thus far. 1 for 1 right now with a pair of saves for Yags.
As Cass, a bit awkward, but pops it up, realizing that SJT has boost and is coming back, and 4 saves for SJT over the course of this game. He has been killing it on the defensive end, and that's how you want to see, I think, this USC Gamecocks squad kind of playing with each other. But Yags here is going to take advantage of this awkward position. Cats with no boost, he's got a full tank and just turns that corner to find the angle.
Yeah, Cats kind of pops up for this one, just trying to, like, you know, pose as a threat right there. But once you do that and you don't pull boost at all, it's like, oh, This guy's tank is empty. All right, well, I'm going to take advantage of that because I have like 20, 30. And that's all that's really necessary. Cats with a pinch yet again.
Yeah, I mean, 4-2 lead right now. USC going to be happy that they're able to stem, I think, the bleeding that was going on these last 3 games where... Ooh, Delele almost with the double tap, but it still finds it as... Actually, I was going to say stemming the bleeding, but Franklin here starting to find a few opportunities, and mostly just off of these solo plays where they're taking advantage of USC being low on boost.
It was like a 3-score difference, what seemed like 60 seconds of gameplay ago. Now 8 total shots for Franklin, 9 total shots for USC. They haven't even attempted one in about 60 seconds or so. 3-4 right now. 4 saves Franklin EXO, 5 saves USC. Got to get this one going.
Dangerous.
All right. Okay, so it's going to be another close one, another barn burner right here as we bring this one back to the brink, just as close as we get, right? 3-2 scoreline as of right now as we head into game number 6. If the USC Gamecocks take that one down, then we'll have gone all the way down to game number 7. Absolutely love it. Talk to me a little bit about the numbers here, Titan.
Yeah, I mean, I think you were talking about at the beginning of the game where Franklin EXO didn't really have anything going on, and that was kind of the issue, where when you're not doing anything on the pitch, when you're not being proactive, and you're just letting your opponent run the pitch, you're gonna lose. Like, that's just how it is. That's how this game is. Rocket League is about, forcing mistakes out of your opponent, being proactive. But at the end, they're actually really starting to step it up. I mean, you're looking at Yags there actually starting to finally get onto the defensive end. He took 2 shots. He scored both of them right at the end. Both players having 4 saves. Obviously, their defense was still holding up a little bit. But I think the thing that for me really stuck out at the end of that game, and I imagine as SJT and Cats here, obviously not reading up, I think they're talking about this, is the fact that Cats 0 saves this game. SJT was killing it on the defensive end because he kind of had to. He was the only one that was really getting solid clears, and I think that's what allowed Franklin to get those goals at the end. Is you need to have both players involved there on the defense.
You got to. At the end of the day, those are like sustainable score lines, right? 5 total saves from the team, and all of them coming from one. This is duos, and even more so than threes. You can't go forth and like divide down labor. It's like, okay, you're going to be the one playing defense. You're going to be the one playing offense. These are not sustainable situations.
Yeah, I mean, SGT obviously kind of carrying that last game, but you can't rely on that because it's not going to be every game where he's able to get 5 saves and every shot he's going to be able to get out of the net. And you saw there at the end, he was low on boost a lot of times, and when that was the case, then Franklin EXO would come in and they'd find a shot. So Cats needs to get a little more involved there on the defensive end. Their offense looked great, but if you're going to be giving over goals, then it really doesn't matter because that just makes the game pretty much even.
Oh, wow. Cats gets over this one, but Yags doesn't care because they're going for the demo the whole time. SJT passed one, can't get past the other. Cats almost cheated a little bit too far forward for that one.
I think he did, actually, because no good touch there. SGT was obviously pushed up with no boost, and Cats puts that high, but Yags is there on the sidewall, and there's no chance for Cats to get back to it. And that's just a free kind of lob, a very slow ball, and that's the kind of goals that you really can't allow to go in.
Yeah, you really can't. You really can't. And all of this comes down off the back of just cheating up just a tiny bit too much, right? Just burning a tiny bit too much boost to try and get into position, not being ultimately where you need to be. Nice little physical play there. Try and mess with the rotations of this squad. Delele trying to spin up something beautiful and almost does. Yags waiting in the wings for that one to result in success or failure. Either one, they're ready to go with their teammate. Make that thing sing. SJT, fortunately, Cats is back, so not the same mistakes committed as we've seen before. No double commits coming out of here for the USC Gamecocks when it matters the most, Titan.
Yeah, and I gotta say, for Franklin EXO, if there's anything that they are, it is they're playing together. Even in losses, they have similar saves. They're playing as a unit, and when they're doing well together, they're sharing the ball. They're both scoring. They're looking for demos, and so there's a lot of cohesion here for Franklin EXO, and I think that's been to their advantage and sometimes detriment because obviously if they're not really able to keep up, then they don't really have a player who's able to step up.
Yags almost putting on the flashiest one of broadcast. Now 2 minutes in, and we have 6 shots attempted, from the Franklin EXO squad. That's double zeros there for USC. No offensive shots attempted thus far and 5 saves. Now, the good news is 4 of these are coming out of Cats, 1 out of SJT, so the division of labor they're coming in, but we're not even at halftime yet, Titan.
Yeah, as Cats looking for these insane shots that he's been finding throughout this series. That one is unfortunately going to go wide. But as you're saying, the defense is being split, and that's a beautiful touch.
Okay.
Defender pushed up, and I want to see what happened here for Franklin because I think Yags here just got beaten, and Delaney pushed all the way up to midfield.
Yeah, so Delaney is thinking that Yags is going to get a good nose under this and put it to mid-pitch, I guess. I mean, these are the kind of like split-second kind of gambles that you just can't really take here, especially given that this is a Franklin EXO squad that was ahead in the previous game. You know, what was their match point game, right? They lose this one, any advantage they had, and it was a significant one, will all be for naught.
Yeah, I mean, you lose this, it's 3-3, it's the last game, and you're coming into it with USC having 1-2 in a row. That's what you want to avoid here for Franklin. That is the worst case scenario. As Yags here having to flex small pads because Cats has full boost, and Cats just takes the shot, recognizes that the defender's just trying to buy time, and says, nah, I'll just score that.
Yeah, dude. No SJT necessary on this one. Cats just plays a perfect angle right here as Delaney and Yags are trying to splay across this field. Like, it's a great job not double committing, but once they get that edge, once they get that corner while goal is still up, neither of them can make a play onto this one. Now another one kickoff here from the Gamecocks.
Yeah, I gotta say, it's interesting how you're seeing from the Gamecocks now. This is the last 2 games, so they kind of been switching off who's pulling a majority of the weight. Last game obviously was SJT. This game, 4 saves for Cats, a goal, and now SJT coming in, taking advantage of these defensive mistakes, and you're seeing kind of a return to that, what we saw very early on in game 1, where when USC is able to put on pressure, Franklin, these touches on the defensive end are suddenly getting a lot weaker. They're not as precise as they were when they had more time and they felt more in control. And they're just kind of making these mistakes. But Yags here, kickoff goal. And hey, we've had at least one every game.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have. And twos is just going to happen more, right? Up until this goal, I was going to say that 8 total shots attempted there from Franklin, only 1 going in. Even 2 for 8, 25% ain't bad. But 3 for 5, shooting 60%. This is where we start talking about our quantity versus quality type conversations, Titan.
Yeah, absolutely. USC has been doing a great job about picking their shots, and they've been doing, I think, especially what you've seen is they're very smart about how they're placing the ball to make it awkward for their opponents. The USC Gamecocks have done this a lot where they try and find 50s on the offensive end, not to score it necessarily, but to actually put it in a better position for their teammate. And when they're doing that, I think that's when they're most successful. As SJT here, flip reset, had so much space being given by Yags, but was unable to put it through, as now forces Yags up with the threatened demo.
Nicely done. So again, just a tiny little tap against coming in. Nice job from Delaney, somehow flipping and twisting for that one. That is money right there as we hit the last 45 seconds of game number 6.
Yeah, that's the defense you want to see, as Cats now no boost, trying to do something with this ball, buy some time. Half a minute left here to hold on to this 1-goal lead, and USC will be pushing it to the final game, game number 7. But now Delaney, flick gets cut off, still has boost to push this high. Cats, though, taking their time, and I think for USC, as long as there's no major mistakes here, just holding on to this lead is all you need.
Oh, almost. Cats almost does it to him again. Just plays the angles game. That's what we're talking about. Quantity,
bump.
Quality.
That was incredibly well played by Cats to cut off that aerial play, recognizing that SJT was getting bumped. And with 1 second left, this is it for Franklin. One last chance, and it's going to be dropped by SJT. And, I guess, sometimes the taking turns carrying the game does just work out.
Yes, it does. Apparently so. Yag, 7 shots attempted, 2 there from Delaney. So the lion's share of these offensive attempts here from Franklin coming out of Yags, but they still have 9 total. This is exactly what we're talking about when Titan and I mention that quality quantity situation. 7 shots attempted, splayed as evenly as you can across these 2 players. The Cats at 4, SJT with 3, and this is where I want to talk about the assists as well, right?
Mm.
Both of SJT's goals being assisted by Cats. The one from Cats was just more of a solo play. There wasn't really an opportunity for SJT to have gone forth and assisted that one. So this is exactly what a duo needs to play like, honestly.
Mhm. Yeah, no, absolutely. They're playing incredibly well together. And I think you're seeing kind of the way that USC wants to play this out is you have, one player kind of taking the point, and then you have your other player coming in and supporting them. And they've switched it off these last two games, SJT and Cats both showing that they have the ability to really kind of carry these games. And now's the question, it's game 7. Can you keep it up? Can Franklin EXO find the comeback, get that pace back that they had so well in, those 3 games they won in a row? It all comes down to this.
It does indeed, and does indeed. First game went the distance in that best of 3. Obviously, a little bit easier for a best of 3 to go down to 3 games instead of 2. Shot attempted inside, and Cats draws first blood.
And once again, I think you're seeing here, Delele on the back wall. Yags is pushed really far up, and there's no chance he gets there with how little boost he has. So all that USC has to do is make the first shot awkward enough that Cats can follow it up, and they're doing that so well.
They really are. The cohesion coming out, and honestly, this is the tricky, slippery plays from kind of reassigning roles game to game from the University of South Carolina. Now you see a little bit more of a split, kind of responsibilities here over offensive, defensive responsibilities. I'm not 100% sure what the idea was there, but no real possession from either squad. I guess a demo's not terrible.
Yeah, Yags with a pre-jump there means that Delele's going to be left alone to keep this one out. Now at the back wall, trying to get it over to Yags. Pushed up to an awkward position, and that means that SJT in the corner picks it up. Musty flick over to his teammate, but a great demo, and it's nice to see here that Franklin, they're not letting themselves bleed out too much at the start. They lost that first goal, but that's all right. They're finding saves. This one, though, kicked downfield, and Yags feels like the second time now where he's been pushed extremely far up, and even with a full tank, can't get back in time.
Yeah, look at where Yags is at right there. Once you see this ball coming down, you have to respect the angle, man. Cats has done it earlier in this game. Cats has done it continuously through this best-of-7 series. Just, again, just cheating up that tiny little bit less, right?
Yeah.
It's all about positioning here in Rocket League, and you got to be able to get in a position, help out a teammate.
Ooh, off the sidewall, SJT not going to be able to find contact. But as you were saying, Yags there cheats up and then doesn't really respect the shot from the opponents. He doesn't immediately turn to get back, and that means that it's just put on net. And even with a full tank, nothing he can do. 2-0 lead now for the USC Gamecocks. They're feeling good as Cats. Look at the flip reset, gets out the first challenge. And again, for USC, it's just you find a good shot, you find a good opportunity. He forces out a weak touch from Yags, and there's SJT to put it through.
Yeah, here's more numbers coming at you. University of South Carolina, obviously 3-0 as of right now. 5 shots attempted versus Delele's 1. Uno. That's it. 2 saves from Delele. Yags has no numbers on the board outside of their total score. Is this just a momentum kind of thing? Because obviously that's I feel like that's almost more mental, right? If Franklin EXO just needs to come forth and realize this is the same team they played before, right? Yes, the pressure might be on, but play the Rocket League game ahead of you and don't necessarily pay attention to the score.
Yeah, I mean, you still have 3 minutes left in this game. We've seen more goals in less time in this series. But it's absolutely, I think there's a lot that goes into the mental part of this where you have the USC Gamecocks just winning 2 in a row, coming off of that and saying, oh yeah, we have the pressure. We can beat these guys. Whereas for Franklin EXO, you were on match point and you lost those games. You were in the driver's seat. You were winning convincingly in some of those games. And now suddenly it's to game 7. You really, it's a very big mental test to see if you can turn around and say, all right, we're going to reset. We're going to keep playing the way we've been playing. And we know that we could beat these guys. And there we go. Delele, he's been doing most of the work this game, and they just say, I'll take this into my own hands.
Yes. 1 second past halftime. Delele not going to be denied that many times. A fantastic player. And I'm going to say it's even an effort here. Congratulations to the Gamecocks only allowing 2 shots attempted from Delele, regardless of what their teammates doing in the first half of this game. But another kickoff mistake, and Cats is going to feast upon it.
I mean, it hurts to see here where it's a gamble. And when you're doing this double, when both teams are cheating up, it's okay. Which player cheats up more? And in that case, it was Delele. And does the ball perfectly stalemate. And in that case, it didn't, which means that it actually benefits Cats, who did kind of a more reserved cheat up where he said, all right, I'm going to wait a little bit further back and see what happens. It was Delaney now through the air, gets it over one, but Cats flies in, and Cats, these last 2 games, has been absolutely everywhere on the pitch.
Yeah. Like, if the ball is there, Cats is right nearby. It's like you're shaking a bag of treats, and there they come running.
Yeah, the ball has catnip in it, and Cats says, yeah, I know what to do. Is actually good demo. Delaney tries to pop it out, but again, Cats, even with no boost, gets there. Another pump attempted. SJT gets demoed, actually. And Franklin, despite all of this, despite so much control, are not going to be able to find a shot on net. And that's just going to be SJT clearing it down the field.
Yeah, and even so, every time SJT or Cats does this, you're talking about another 10 seconds or so off because they're a 3-score differential and on match point here in Game 7. You got to start paying attention to just how much chronological resource you have left. That's just a fancy way of saying time.
And that's a good demo. I think SJT pops it a little high, but you got to point out there in that attempt there, the last one that we just saw from Franklin. Oh, Cats, don't do it to them like that!
Oh, 5 shots attempted, 4 of them made in, 3 saves. Cats putting on an absolutely Herculean effort here in game number 7. If it's going to happen, it has to happen now. 4-score, was that 75 seconds or so? Maybe 17 seconds per score? Dude, it's possible, but that's only just to tie it.
Yeah, it would be a
my
it would be a feat, and I think with it going to 6-1, SJT puts it through, and USC says, listen, round 1, you blew us out in that game 3. Grand finals, game 7, we're gonna take control. And I think you got a point for Franklin EXO. It really is a case of this whole series, they have won together and they have lost together, you know?
Now, both fake the kickoff.
But for this team, you know, it's really a case of when they're both playing well, you know, then they're scoring a lot and they're working well together. But when they're losing, it's both players. They're not. It's just because that teamwork is not there. And SJT puts in the 7th. What a performance, though, from USC to come back from 3-1 down in the series.
I mean, you know, if they were going to do it here, Titan, they had to do it in this fashion. 6-0 at the end of the first round. That 2-1 there to give the University of South Carolina their only loss. Yeah, I had to do it to them something like this. Now a 7-goal differential. Now they're just playing for brownie points.
Yeah, it's the victory lap now as they, I think, just relishing in the comeback here, as it really was a great comeback and really finding their style again and figuring out how to play with it, how to match what Franklin EXU was doing. Now, obviously, for Franklin EXU, still they're going to have $60 going over to the charity of their choice, so it's not all doom and gloom for them losing in the finals. They still got here. They're still giving money to charity. But for USC, I think they're going to be very, very happy with that $300 prize pool going their way. As looks like you're muted, but we're gonna
sorry about that.
Send the ball
all over but the credits. All over but the credits here. There's gonna be the 9th. Yags gives the props here, and we're just waiting for the clock at this point here, Titan.
Yeah, as I mean, I don't know if there's much more we can say. Just this was, I think, extremely close. 6 games. Like game 1 was kind of one-sided, but then games 2, 3, 4, you know, it was just Franklin EXO having control. It was close, but they were still getting those wins. And then these last 2 games before this one were so close, and yet still it was, you know, University of South Carolina pulling it out, finding those wins, and now they get to celebrate. They get to have this victory. They're saying, listen, we worked hard for this. We worked hard for this comeback, and we're going to celebrate. And one more goal there goes over to Delaney. I think Delaney, you got to give respect here on the side of Franklin for Delaney kind of keeping it together and really trying to pull something out of this game, even when things aren't working well. But that's going to be the ball dropping, and that's going to be USC getting the win.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we looked at a 4-1 scoreline. Oh, excuse me. In game number 1, 5-4. Franklin EXO clan brought it back right there. After, I mean, 4-1 is pretty definitive. 5-4 right there, and then followed it up with another 4-2 after that. A 3-2 just tells us, hey, this series is just starting to heat up, right? Taking on to game number 5, the University of South Carolina takes their own one-score advantage, 4-3. Does the same thing in game number 6, a 3-2 advantage. Last game is just kind of the same sort of way that we saw it end up and at the end of the first series, right? One team gets a little bit farther ahead, the other team is just trying to throw everything that they can against the wall to come forth, come out on top, and put something on the boards right here. But a huge round of applause here for the University of South Carolina. Their chosen sponsor, Extra Life, be getting 300 of that $360 prize pool.
Yeah, and obviously, I mean, it's so wonderful that you have an event like this and these players they played their hearts out and now you get to give money to an awesome cause. And for both these teams, obviously, it is I think kind of fitting that they were both supporting the same thing. They were both supporting like cancer research and and health support for children. And it's wonderful that even though obviously Franklin EXO lost, they know that that money is still going to something that they believe in and that they want to support. And it's really, really just great to see that as obviously that's going to be the end there. And we're actually going to have an interview with the winners, luckily. So we're going to get to ask them some questions, but we're going to take a short break while we get them here. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We're recording this mostly, but don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back with an interview.
XP League is a youth esports organization that combines the thrill of competitive gaming with the values of teamwork, leadership, and personal growth. Designed for kids 7 to 17, XP League bridges the gap between gaming and life skills by offering a structured environment where players can develop their talents under the guidance of certified coaches. Our league focuses on popular games like Fortnite, Rocket League, Overwatch, Valorant, and Apex Legends, emphasizing strategy, communication, and sportsmanship. Beyond the games, XP League Franklin, primarily based in Tennessee, fosters a strong sense of community by involving families and creating opportunities for young gamers to connect, grow, and succeed both in and out of the digital arena. Our strong coaching staff has allowed us connections to colleges all across the U.S., where alumni of our program have gone on to compete on scholarships, and recently we became a partner to ExoClan, an EU-based professional esports organization, which is allowing us dedicated time with pro-level coaches, players, and managers. Whether your child is new to esports or looking to take their skills to the next level, XP League Franklin is the place to play, learn, and thrive.
Yeah.
This goes over here. I can go ahead and close Rocket League. Are you Titan? You ready?
Yep.
Oh, and hey, how we doing? We are back quick. I told you it'd be a short break here, folks. FBI Tugboat Titan on Fire. Coming on in here to give us a minute of their time is Cats from the University of South Carolina. That's Cats. Cats, how are we feeling, my friend?
I'm feeling good. It's been a long day of matches. A lot of twos played today, but very happy to come out there in game 7 and take the win.
Absolutely. Longer series it was indeed, and congratulations to you, sir. Titan, take it away.
Yeah, so Cats, I gotta say, obviously, first of all, congratulations. That's gonna be $300 going over to the charity of your choice. Now, it's been a long day of games, as you kind of said. First you had that Swiss, and now into the grand finals. And one thing I want to ask is, obviously, in the Swiss, you guys went 5-1. You almost went 6-0, but you actually lost 2-1 to Franklin EXO in round one. Was that on your mind at all when you were coming into this series? Did you guys, were you wanting a little bit of revenge for that loss?
Yeah, I mean, the Franklin EXO guys, so a little bit of background there. I coached them through XP League. So we were coming in, and I obviously was aware of their level because I've been working with them for a couple years now, especially Yags. So was aware that they were going to kind of be the team to beat. And best of three is a very quick format. And it went to game three. They had a very dominant game three against us. And so we kind of had the entire rest of the Swiss to think about that matchup and think about how we wanted to go about playing it when we had that longer best of seven format. So yeah, that was kind of our game plan. Definitely thinking about that being the team to beat since the very beginning, though.
Awesome. Yeah, and I mean, that best of seven started out really great in game one. Obviously, you guys got that 4-1 win, and then it was close, but you lost the next three games. And so, heading into that game five where you're down 3-1 and they're on match point, what were you guys talking about? You had some longer breaks there where you guys didn't ready up immediately. What were you guys thinking about and how to adjust to the play style of Franklin EXO in those last three that you ended up winning?
Yeah, it was a little bit of going away from a smarter style and more to just playing with more confidence,
Mhm.
especially for me. Before we were, like I had mentioned, we were thinking about how are we going to kind of go about picking apart this team, where are their weaknesses, right? So obviously, those are all going to be things I get to talk to them about when we're in practice. But at first, we kind of came to the conclusion that maybe we'd play a little bit slower, especially me, and I can kind of just play a little bit smarter, slow it down, lose 50s intentionally, and just play for possession and kind of let them overcommit. It was a little bit too slow when we were doing that. So I kind of just told SJT going into game five, I was just like, let me kind of ball chase a little bit more. Let me make them awkward. They're over committing. I just need to get a touch, and then it will just
Mhm.
be open nets for you time and time again. And that was what we did going into games five, six, seven. Game seven obviously was a little bit of a wash, but yeah, five and six, that was definitely the change in our strategy.
Yeah, I mean, I think it worked out great. You guys had those games were still very close, but you ended up find that win, and we definitely noticed the change there in the play style. Um, and yeah, that's going to be it. Tugboat, you got any questions?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So first off, again, congratulations, $300 going on to Extra Life. I want to ask, why exactly Extra Life? It's a fantastic organization. Why is it that you guys chose Extra Life for your charity of choice?
Yeah, so there isn't any like super particular reason. I had a pre-existing relationship with Extra Life when South Carolina competed in NACE, which is the North American Collegiate Esports League, and they're partners with them. So when I was thinking about a charity that I'd like a Rocket League tournament to go to, I figured that it should be probably an esports one, and I have a good relationship with NACE because, or NACE and Extra Life because I've worked with them in the past. So decided to kind of go with that brand that I was familiar with. And obviously, it's a great cause. Extra Life is a program of Children's Miracle Network hospitals, so it goes to children in need.
They, like I was saying to Titan, helping sick children. I'd challenge anybody to come up with a better cause. Like really, nothing saying anything whatsoever against the LLSs, the Leukemia Lymphoma Societies, Tilt Cancer that Franklin was playing for, but still, both of them fantastic causes. Taking it a little more personal here, what you are representing the University of South Carolina. You said you were a coach. Are you a player as well? You're still a student, graduate. What's how do you cats fit in here with the University of South Carolina?
Yeah, so I am the captain for the team. Have been for a couple years. I coach youth on the side through XP League and some other programs. So I've gotten the pleasure of sending lots of players to go play collegiately on scholarship. My students have accumulated over $4.5 million in collegiate scholarship offers. So it's really awesome. The last 3 or really 4 years now, since the beginning of my collegiate career at South Carolina, and year after year, just seeing more and more of my students finding their place in their universities and being able to compete against them, ranging from Grand Canyon University in the west to Syracuse in the east. They're pretty much everywhere now, so it's really cool. Yags will be joining them starting next year because he's a senior. But I'm a senior. I have one more semester left in the spring, and then I will be graduating. And I've accepted a job offer with Nucor, so I am
Hey.
looking forward to coming back to the CEA hopefully in about June with a corporate team. That would be pretty awesome to participate with you guys. Um, but yeah, just kind of wearer of many hats in South Carolina's ecosystem. Also serve on their exec board, just pushing for the esports to become bigger.
That's absolutely fantastic. That's absolutely fantastic. For this next part, I'm gonna need you to tune into the screen share here. Okay, let me know when you
All
have
right.
it up.
Yeah, I got it.
Alrighty, I'm gonna give you one guess where I went to university, where I went to college, my friend, class of 2014 out here. Now, it's very, very important for casters to not be biased. I hope that you guys didn't sense any bias in my commentary, but I'm very, very grateful that the University of South Carolina was able to come in flashy fashion as well in Game 7 and take it down. Cats, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for coming on and to give us a kind of a slice of the mind of a player after the competition.
Absolutely. Thank you guys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Everybody, this has been Cats, University of South Carolina. Gamecocks taking this one down. Cats and SJT doing everything necessary to take down the W. I want to go ahead and give a fat shout out to some of the organizations that make competitions just like this one possible. Obviously, the CEA, the Corporate Esports Association, as well as Amazon Luna and XP League Franklin. I also want to give a shout out to some of the faces behind the scenes, some of the ones that you may not have seen on broadcast. That's going to be MG76 or Mike. We're talking about Moonbroken and Shadow Aid. Once again, Titan and I are just two guys screaming about Rocket League in our rooms without our production staff. Very, very much appreciated. That's going to be about it from me, from FBI Tugboat, Titan on Fire. Do you have anything else for the good people before I do bid them adieu?
Thank you all so much for watching and for supporting. Obviously, these events put on by CEA is awesome that we have these events to give and support charities and put money towards great causes and also just get some really awesome and fun games. This is obviously it's not, like super professional. It's not like these guys are playing off in your RLCSs, but you still get to see people who are passionate about these games on the side and love to play them, and they're getting to show that off and do it for a great cause. So it's wonderful for everyone that supports this and then comes and watch. Every single view and every single person counts. So thank you all so much for coming out and watching this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, esports, charity, and high level competition. It don't get better than that. CEA, that's where you can find it at. FBI Tugboat, Titan on Fire. We will catch you on the flip side.